Hi, Aaron. How are you doing?
Hi, friend. How are you?
Good. Did you notice I didn't say your full name?
Hi, Scott Havens. How are you?
Well, good, Aaron. Folk, doing great. You just went to an amazing Big Brothers Big Sisters event. Had a really good time, having a productive week. Things are clicking on all cylinders for you going into the holidays.
Can you believe that Christmas is next week?
I know we are going to get Chinese food on Christmas Eve.
Oh, I've had to do that on accident before because I didn't realize everything was closed.
I mean, it's the best.
I have not bought my daughter any presents because she's insisting I watch this PowerPoint, but it's not ready to go yet. I'm like, if this doesn't get ready to go, Santa can't shop.
I love it. You got to do a PowerPoint, but we should kind of figure out what our guests that are doing for Christmas, and also the people watching.
You're supposed to say for the holidays. Not everybody celebrates Christmas.
That's correct. I celebrated Hanukkah last night.
Did you?
Yep. So yarmulke is Yiddish, but I forgot the other name that is Hebrew for yarmulke. Again, I'm gonna get it wrong, so I'm not gonna say it.
Oh, mess it up.
Yeah, we celebrated the third day of Hanukkah last night with our children and our neighbors and some other families. So it's a Baptist, a Catholic, and a Jewish family got together for dinner last night.
We're gonna just leave that there. Did you know? I have to tell you one thing real quick. Did you know your friend Brian Schweitzer is fluent in Italian?
If he tricked you.
No, I promise you. Okay, I do want to tell a story really quick. When we were at our friend's party, our fancy friend's party, this woman came up and she had a little bit of an accent, and Brian said something to her in Italian, and I was like, and then they started talking, and I looked at him, I go, "You do not speak Italian," and she's like, "Yeah, he does," and I was like, "What?" And then he goes, "I do Duolingo when I drive around. I started Spanish today." I think he does, and we didn't know. I swear to God.
I'm texting him right now about something.
I swear to God. I was like, what is going on? But the woman didn't know him from Adam. And she was, they were just Italian. I was like, what is going? He's like, I just drive around all the time and listen to Duolingo.
I can't believe it, but that's wild. That's wild.
So wild. Okay. Talk about our sponsors. Tomorrow is Cargo Cafe. It's a look at how all of 2025 went. And kind of what to expect in 2026. So it's the CEO and a couple of the other big time people over at Bestway International. So make sure you go to their page and watch Cargo Cafes because that's going to be great. Evardy, I saw Brian, who's part of Evardy, on Saturday. And of course, they were helping raise the money and all of the things.
Yep. Chris Evans and Brian Hardy are probably small and mighty supporters of Big Brothers Big Sisters. They've probably, as a company, have raised more money than any other organization in Kansas State, and that's saying something because they support a lot of different not-for-profits. So really wild how much they get back.
They were my year, and they were the number 2 biggest one after the CEO of Freight Quote. It was crazy. Both of those people raised so much money.
Yes, and then Bestway International is having a meeting on Thursday morning at a secret speakeasy, but I can't tell you. It's downtown.
I'm going to just ask them.
You ask them and they're going to tell you, and you'll know in a second. But we have not been together to that downtown speakeasy, so I can't wait to show you, and I can't wait to show our guests that are waiting.
I'm having my company party my client company party tomorrow at a secret speakeasy. Don't forget.
Oh, you be out south. That's right. You got some napkins that need some paper plates. You got to arrive 30 minutes early to make sure it looks the way you want it to.
Yeah, we'll talk about this. Okay, nobody cares about this. Okay, so we need to know, are you watching us live? Are you watching the replay? Are you watching from Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn? As always, he's going strong. All 2025. Paul says he's hanging out with drinks with leaders upon the highest bow. I don't know what that means. I used the word dote yesterday, and my new guy, I think he now thinks I'm 70. He said he had never heard the word dote.
You were doting on him?
I wasn't doting on him, but I did say somebody was doting on something, and he's like, dope. He looked it up. So I like that word.
But even if we said that's dope, we'd still look old too.
Not dope. I said doped. Oh, yeah, dope.
I know. Okay. Yeah, both are old.
We're done. Okay, let's bring in the guests. Nobody cares. This is such a weird show. Okay. And it's a terrible angle because I'm at the office, not on my own thing. So God picked out the music. I hate it. Okay. Here we are. We have the two best guests today. Make sure that you're asking some questions in the comments. Our first guest today is Tim and Max. Let me go turn off Scott's favorite music ever. Hi, guys. Welcome to Drinks with Leaders. We're so excited you're here.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We are going to dive right in. So, Tim, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
3 great questions. Thanks for having me again. As you guys said, my name is Tim Hosie. I'm the founder and managing director of Planned Exit Partners, a lower middle market mergers and acquisition advisory practice. And I sell businesses. I work with founders, typically with businesses worth 5 to 50 million in value, typically in the greater Midwest or greater Kansas City area, typically seeking to retire or move on to the next challenge. I found my way to Kansas City via University of Missouri. I'm originally from upstate New York, specifically a small town outside Syracuse called Skinny Atlas for all those listeners. And I ended up in Kansas City after I took a job at Pricewaterhouse in their accounting group. Obviously, I had my CPA, and now I'm certainly anchored here. My wife and I live over here in Leawood. We've got 3 young boys and a 4th on the way. And she went to KU and I went to Mizzou, so house divided. And obviously she works down at a hospital on the plaza. So it's a great city to be a part of.
So Tim, how did you get the courage to start your business?
Yeah. Well, a lot of it just comes with the confidence of ultimately knowing that you've got the skill and expertise to do something. Ultimately, I've been doing this for nearly 8 years now. Sold a lot of businesses, provided a lot of guidance to business owners. And a lot of the challenges for lower middle market companies are typically the same. Founder owned, key man risk, customer concentration, poor financial reporting, whatever it may be. And so once you have those kind of repetition and repeat experiences, you can start to provide guidance to the owners in a similar manner and ultimately build that confidence in yourself to do something.
Are you raising your children as KU or AMU fans?
They haven't decided yet. Although my oldest son, he's 4. He likes to root for the Tigers and the Jayhawks. So we haven't let him pick yet. He will eventually for sure once he hits high school.
Feel like if you stay right there in Leawood, I know which way he's going.
Yeah,
so.
Me too. Which is fine. It's cheaper that way, right?
Don't get your feelings.
Yeah.
Amazing. I do have a question about your business. What is the youngest you've ever seen somebody retire?
I don't know. It's not necessarily retire. It's probably move on to something else. We've helped somebody within their mid 40s. The one that was ultimately youngest that I worked with that was like truly seeking to retire was 52.
Okay. Because I'm ready now, but I'm not 52 yet.
I would love to retire too.
All right, Max, who are you? What do you do? How do you get to Kansas City?
Yeah, speaking of, I am retired, so that's kind of fun, but I'm still working. So I guess I'll give you a couple of snippets, right? I'm a 22-year Army veteran, retired last summer after 21 years. I'm a leader, volunteer, like to travel. I'm a brother to a sister with Down syndrome, a board member, PGA Hope ambassador to Kansas City, Missouri, which is really cool.
New.
Yeah, new and exciting. Talk about that maybe a little bit later. Avid golfer, connector of people, really like adventure. I'm a member of the Kansas City Bourbon Club. I'm a Kansas City barbecue judge. So just kind of a lot going on for me. But I currently do physical security sales for Watchmen Security, a local company here, founded and owned by Lucas and Gala. So we do multifamily and commercial cameras, door access, intrusion, visitor management, fire alarms. So doing sales, been there about 5 months. Really enjoy that. And I got to Kansas City by way of the Army. So I came during COVID to Fort Leavenworth for about 8 weeks, enjoyed that. And then when it came time to retire, I wanted to be somewhere, most Army bases aren't near a metropolitan city. If they are, they're about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours away, which doesn't really lend to a good transition from government military work into the private sector. So just kind of fell in love with Kansas City and came back here. Leavenworth 2 years ago, and then bought a house in Brookside and kind of off-ramped here in the city and love it. Been here since then. And it's been so good that my parents and sister moved out about 4 months ago.
that is one of the best intros I've heard in a long time. But I want to have the audience learn a little bit about how you decided to enroll in the service. What was that like? Where were you living?
Yeah, thanks, Scott. So I grew up in Georgia, a place called Jasper, Georgia, and there's a school there called the University of North Georgia now. It's a senior military school, so think Texas A&M, Virginia Tech. So there's a massive corps of cadets, and then a civilian population that goes. So both my grandfathers served in the World War II. The one that I knew, my daddy's grandfather, or daddy's daddy, was an artilleryman in Europe. And so I just kind of naturally grew up with all his stories, and truthfully just felt a little serendipitous. That's what I was going to do. I felt a calling to join. So when I went to North Georgia, I enrolled there in the Corps of Cadets, loved it, successful in it, loved the structure, and then commissioned from North Georgia into the Army as an artillery officer and served the next 21 years. 3 tours, 2 tours in Iraq, 1 tour in Afghanistan, and then 2 tours in South Korea, and lived in Germany and Holland as well.
Wow, that's pretty amazing. I thought I heard a little bit of a Southern accent in there.
Oh yeah,
A little bit.
Just a little bit. How was I've seen a lot of things where people say it was really hard to go from how was that? I'm getting feedback from someone. I think it's actually you, Max. How hard was that for you? Did you find that difficult?
Yeah, I would. And that's, when you talk about a pivotal moment, I think those are one of the things that's a pivotal moment for me is how do you go from a structure, a professional structure, a social structure to really nothing? The day that you retire, trying to navigate a post-Army career, really the civilian world is choose your own adventure, right? At the end of the day, you can kind of do many things. And, as was said, your time and talents, your gifts, things that you're good at, there's so many things that the Army developed me to be pretty decent at. So when you come out and you have many opportunities, the transition to civilian life has been quite interesting, tiny bit challenging to really find the next purpose. And really fortunate that I met Lucas and Gala, as I said, at Watchmen, and said, hey, I think you'd be a great asset to our team, and, learning sales and just learning a new way to navigate post-Army life. Yeah, it's been a little bit of a challenge.
Well, you have a huge network. You're in the Rockhurst Executive MBA program.
Yeah.
Played a lot of rounds of golf, and you probably developed a 5,000 to 6,000 person network in a matter of 2 years or 2.5.
Yeah, probably about 2 years or so. It's gone well.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, enjoyed it. So I think it's been a challenge. I think there's a lot of challenges for people as they transition in the Army to really navigate. I think the stat is somewhere between 6 to 7 jobs on average for a post military person until they really find what they want to do.
There we go. All right, we're gonna keep rolling here. So, Tim, what was the most pivotal point in your career?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I read that question earlier, where you asked me that earlier, I had to look back, and I really felt what's that?
You can do multiple.
Yeah, I felt like I sputtered, to be quite honest, early part of my career. I lacked maturity. I lacked direction. There was a lot of wants that I didn't necessarily have the ability to do. And I wasn't particularly enjoying my career in accounting. And so ultimately, I just decided that it was time to reinvent myself and go back to school. I, like Max, decided to go to Rockhurst, got my MBA in finance there. And ultimately, while I was there, was create some narrative around trying to get into transaction advisory, ultimately with the goal of being in investment banking and or private equity. And then luckily landed a job through some networking at a boutique local investment bank doing valuation work. And that led into building out the sell side execution process for selling lower middle market companies.
Nice.
And ultimately for me, it's using that experience and expertise now to do what I'm doing now at Plan Exit Partners, but carry a lot of the knowledge that we build as transaction advisors to help plan for and create more successful exits. So yeah, I would say the pivotal moment was realizing I needed to have direction and be more intentional about my career.
Yeah.
What was your favorite exit, or maybe the one that made you the most money, And what type of, without giving it away, what type of industry was it in, and what were the curveballs?
My favorite exit was probably it was a construction business. The owner was looking to retire. This was the 52-year-old. Ultimately, his goal was to spend more time outside of the business because he was spending all of his time in the business. And ultimately, we were giving him the opportunity to go out and do something other than work, which he was working Saturday, Sundays, Monday through Friday. And giving him the visibility to and financial means to go out and do that without sacrificing all the hard work he had done for many, many years. So that was probably my favorite. He was also probably candidly my favorite client. He was such a good guy.
Max, you alluded to a pivotal moment, but you've had many. What are some other pivotal moments in your career?
Yeah, I think one of, the one that really just sticks to me is this transition because it's been significant, right? I made two very deliberate decisions when I moved to Kansas City. One is I deliberately bought a house where I thought there would be community, right? Coming from the Army where you have immediate community, you have a network, and you have a social outlet that was really important to me. So the pivotal moment was trying to figure out where I was going to find community. Ended up buying a place in Brookside, have fantastic community in my street around this neighborhood. And then the second deliberate decision that I made, because I do love to play golf, but I thought would provide somewhat of a community and somewhat of a network, which is magnified 10 times now. It's not even somewhat, is I joined a place called Oakwood Country Club. I didn't grow up in a country club, but I thought, man, that would be a great transition point to learn those three things, right? So when I joined Oakwood, it has a special place in my heart. The people are amazing. And truthfully, that's how I got connected to you. Rick Colley has been a fantastic mentor and friend of mine throughout my journey in the last 2 years as I transitioned. So I think really just the pivotal moment for me is retiring from the Army in Kansas City where I didn't know anyone and creating my own way, creating my own network, creating my own community and friendships. And Kansas City has been incredible, welcomed me with open arms. The people are fantastic. And I absolutely love it here. And I think it's one of the best secrets in America for a place to live.
Pretty good.
Well, that's saying a lot because you've been to a lot of places, it sounds like.
It is. And the pivotal moment really is the last, to continue with it is the last 4 or 5 months learning sales, right? Sales and business development has been interesting as a second career. So that's been cool. But also just trying to understand a rhythm and a structure. It's just different. But yeah, have been a lot of places and enjoyed it. I will tell you one quick thing though. I texted Schweitzer and asked him if he knows Italian.
Yes.
And he wrote me back in Italian that says, and he said, not so much though. That's what it translates to.
He knew enough to have a conversation with that woman.
Yeah. I think he was using Google Translate, but anyway, it's funny.
No, he wasn't.
Aaron has a really good read on people. And so I'm just like,
and I've known Brian for longer than any of y'all combined.
Yes, he's known Brian twice as long. And so like, it's just, I'm in shock right now. So like, you got to hang with me. You got to hang with me a little bit.
But I feel like he's like, on
it's a really good friend of all of ours we're talking about. On
old sitcom shows where there's always like one friend all the details about. I feel like he's that friend.
Yeah, it's like Chandler Bing and Friends,
Exactly. All right, Tim. Oh, by the way, if anybody's going to New York, they just opened up last week, a Friends cafe. Like it looks like Friends and everything in Times Square. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tim, how did your 2025 go? And how can the Kansas City community help you going into 2026?
Sure. Great question. And before I said that, I should have said this earlier, but Max, obviously, thank you for your service.
Thanks for the support, Tim. Congrats on all your success. Love that for you.
Appreciate that. I would love to learn where your favorite stop along the way was, because I know I'm sure you bounced around all over the U.S. For 2025, I thought it was great. I mean, I've achieved a lot more starting in April than I ever thought I would, to be quite honest. I'm probably a little further ahead than I expected, which is great for me, and I'm glad I'm there. For 2026, but beyond survival with this fourth child coming, it's probably, it can be summarized in just education. Education, as transaction advisors, we have a ton of knowledge about what drives value in an organization, what drives value in the transaction itself, negotiating terms, things like that. A lot of it relates to, candidly, how the new investor or partner perceives risks, underlying risk, whether it's financial reporting, whether it's key man risk, whether it's customer concentration, whatever it may be. But it's leveraging that knowledge and ultimately educating owners earlier on in the process, and years in advance of any exit for that owner, because it allows the owner to ultimately create and have more informed strategic decisions for whatever their exit option may be, so that they can either create more value, harvest more value, create additional opportunities for their employees, or maybe even for their kids if they ultimately want to give it to their kids or whatever it may be. But the planning opportunities and the knowledge that we have as advisors, so any M&A advisor should have that knowledge, can ultimately lead to greater value for the owner, greater flexibility when it comes time to exit, because they've now planned for it and harvested more out of the business, or even just prepare for the unexpected. So I would say that for me, it's really focusing on educating business owners and the other trusted advisors in that network about what makes a successful exit and transitional business.
So how does the Kansas City community help you do that?
Yeah, I think it's really just a plug for M&A advisors in the Kansas City market, that you can use our knowledge, or even buy side groups such as private equity groups or things like that, family offices, leverage their knowledge to help create and transfer that knowledge to business owners. Because I think a lot of business owners, especially in Kansas City, are scared to talk about selling or exiting, because there's a sense of responsibility to their employees or to their family or what have you. But that knowledge and knowledge that they eventually have to transfer at some point. It doesn't have to be a sale. It could be an ESOP, could be a management succession, could be transferred to your kids. There's going to need to be some sort of exit along the way. So you should start planning for it. And so get in touch with your M&A advisor or friendly private equity group.
Felt like half of that was in Spanish, but I know there's really smart people that.
Aaron, one thing to think about is, if you and I were to buy a house, which this helped me, we could really get taken advantage of, because we don't live and breathe in the real estate community. The same can happen with your baby, which is your business. So how do you know it can't sell for 4 times more? What the contracts say, or what risk you have in it? And it's just like, it's an advisor that you pay a fee to, but you're paying a fee for peace of mind and to maximize your exit.
Thank you for mansplaining that to me.
I didn't mansplain it. I was more explaining to the audience. You made a comment, and I was going to make this comment anyway, but you came out and you're like, what is that?
I was mostly joking, but thank you.
Yeah, you are mostly joking because I know you know M&A. So, but either way.
Where's the best place to reach out to you at, Tim?
My email, or on LinkedIn, Timothy@PlannedExitPartners.
Okay, perfect. All right, Max, how did your 2025 go, and how can the Kansas City community help you?
Yeah, thanks. 2025 has been great. Obviously, I started my first sales role, learning a lot there. And then with my parents and sister moving out, it's just been really great to have family and people here in your life that you get to share Kansas City with. I have 3 asks. 2 are pretty easy, or they're all really easy. So one is, as a board member of the Salvation Army, we've got about a week or so left to ring those iconic kettlebells out front. So if people could go to the Salvation Army website, Kansas City Salvation Army website, and if them or their families or their businesses would still like to help raise money and be a part of that iconic pledge drive, please sign up for the Salvation Army and go ring some bells and support. 2 is veteran groups. Kansas City is amazing with giving money and donations. Folds of Honor is one nationally that Kansas City really supports, but there are probably 3 to 4 local ones that could really use some attention and help. PGA Hope being one of them, War Horses for Veterans, Valor Partners, Warriors Ascent. They're all local, doing a lot of great work for veterans. So if the community would like to get in touch with one of those or any veteran organization, I'd love to be a point of contact to help that out. And then third of the ask is, as any transitions in life, Tim looks at people with transitions, whether they've sold a business and going on to the next thing, whatever, is any pointers. So is there mentoring, friendships, or obviously new business for physical security, for your apartments, your commercial real estate? Those are things that I would love to take a look at and try and help you be proactive in your physical security space. So connect with me on LinkedIn, Max, M-A-X, Caylor, C-A-Y-L-O-R. Our easiest email is maxcaylor@gmail.com.
Nice. I had something on that. Oh, Scott, remember how you were talking about if we were going to buy a house together? Wouldn't it be great to bring in Max so we got the VA loan for the house? That'd be good, right?
I don't know. Were you talking to my wife about buying a house?
No, you just said if we bought a house together.
Oh, yeah. So I have to worry.
I just get so like
Aaron's
I
friends with
really
my wife, and so is my business partner Melissa. So I'm always like, they make all these financial decisions without me.
you forget that. I just always am like, I really appreciate veterans, but I'm also very jealous of your loan. So
Well earned.
well-earned loan. All right, I was just trying to bring it back to your joke because I felt like I hurt your feelings when I said you mansplained.
I'm not that smart. I'm an idiot.
All right, so Brendan said, "Get it, brother."
I love it.
All
All right.
Big shout out to my buddy Fred.
Well, we want to thank you guys so much for coming on. Please connect with both Tim and Max over on LinkedIn. We want to thank our sponsors, Bestway International and Evardy Construction, for being incredible sponsors all year long. Make sure you go tune into Cargo Cafe. And Scott, I want to thank you for being the best co-host ever. Sorry, I was mean a few minutes ago.
You're mean. I did. You said I did mansplain. I'm sorry.
All right. We will see you same time, same place, last show of the year next week. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. See ya.